see how this goes. Pardon me if I'm not paying attention yet. Trying to get this synced up so I can just use my laptop. Chat with you guys. That's not working. Yeah. There we go. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, everybody? Sounds like the music sounds like total ass, so maybe I'm gonna kill that. Sounds like total ass, so maybe. Wow, that sounds wretched. I don't know if that's. Does it sound terrible to you guys? That might just be like a loop feedback between my laptop and everything else. All right. Nice talking to you, Marvel. Thanks for tuning in. I might not ever do this again. I don't know. I've never done this before. I just thought I'd give it a shot for the fuck of it. So what do you do in a live stream? Feel free to ask me questions. I don't know. Yeah, you could do that. We'll chat it up or whatever. I'm kind of thinking I might not leave this video up after we're done because it's probably going to be pretty dumb, but yeah, I just got some time to kill, so let's kill some. I don't know, get the ball rolling. I got in a shitload of CDs. Well, got in. I went up to Madison, Wisconsin last weekend to my favorite metal record store, Earwax Records, and they were having half off everything that was used. So I picked up some stuff. And also last week in the mail, I swear I had 1 or 2 CDs in the mailbox every day. A lot of demos, surprisingly. Been getting some submissions from kind of friends, strangers overseas. This was kind of surprising. This band is from Siberia, and they're called Cygnus. And this guy wrote me on Instagram. He said this is his band, and he wanted to share it with me because we both love 90s black metal. By the way, is the sound working? Can you guys hear me? I had to mute my laptop so that there wasn't sound feedback loop problem going on. So let me know if there's any technical difficulties. Please, I'm relying on you. Hey, Chandler. Okay, cool. So I don't think I've ever heard of there being a band from Siberia. So I've given this a couple. I give this about a couple of tracks worth of a listen, and it was pretty weird. It's hand numbered out of 500 copies. So I don't know. I'm stoked to have something from one of the far corners of the earth. I don't know. It looks like something I would just kind of gloss over and not buy or it used in the store, but I don't know. The album's called Of Worlds and Timely and Shadowed. Well, yeah. I don't know. Seems like the picture quality on this isn't as great, but maybe that's just because my internet down here is wretched. Yeah, so how many people we got now? 9 people. All right, let the party get started. If you got any questions or if you want me to show you anything out in the metal sphere, let me know. Yeah, just kind of a free-for-all, whatever. So that is Cygnus. I also got in this demo compilation from Dawn. Dawn is one of my favorite bands. This is called The Eternal Forests. Demo years 91, 93. Massamord, no, I need to check them out. I know they're from Norway. So Dawn's demos, there's 3 demos compiled on here, and I didn't really want to get this, so I kind of waited for it to fall below, like, I don't know, $8 or so. Mostly because these songs are on their first full length for the most part, and I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of hearing Dawn sound like a guttural death metal band. Their melodies are just absolutely amazing on their 2 albums in the EP. So I don't know. This isn't great, but I just kind of thought, why not, satisfy the collector in me and pick up Dawn's demos. Century Media put this out a couple of years ago when they reissued they reissued everything as far as I know. Yeah. So, this is not a recent acquisition, but I watched the Death documentary, Chuck Schuldiner Death. It was really good. As far as just a documentary goes, I don't know, it was kind of average, but the story of Chuck Schuldiner I found pretty interesting, and I was surprised how little I knew about what Chuck went through. Got a question. What would you consider your one and only holy grail if you had to choose out of your entire collection? I'll show you. No, it's not this Emperor poster signed by the whole band in 1998. It's not that. It's this. The greatest record of all time on blue wax. That's your answer. I bought this sealed on eBay for about $30 back in 98, 99 or so. And yeah, it's pretty good. By the way, we'll probably get a cameo or 2 by the stupid cat because he thinks it's time for him to be fed. And his feeding time isn't for another hour or so. But yeah, how about that? Swedish Medal of Death. Yeah, live streaming. We're live streaming. Anyway, so the story of yeah, those are great. Those are great albums, man. I'm super happy that I have them on vinyl. Gorguts? Yeah, I've got some Gorguts. Colored Sands fucking rules. I think I have all of them except for the EP, Pleiades Dust or whatever. I love this record. From Wisdom to Hate. Obscura. I really love all their stuff. Honestly, I listen to these 2 the least. Not that I don't have any problem with them, but I'm just a really big fan of their super dissonant, weird, technical kind of stuff. And I'm sorry about the collection series being lagging. I was deciding tonight that I want to, do another video with a collection series or a live stream. So I decided to do a live stream just for the fuck of it. I don't know. Like, I guess my personality is just that if I don't know how something's going to go, I just try it and see what I think of it. TACA. TACA is a super overrated band. I'm a really big fan of their first album, Not Stid. And I've listened, I think, to the second one, Björgvin or whatever, and I don't think it's nearly as good as Not Stid. So I've never bothered to really listen to any other TACA. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm kind of allergic to the hype. So I don't know. Maybe if that band breaks up or that dude dies in 20 years or some shit, maybe I'll care. But I don't know. I've just kind of checked in with them a couple of times and thought this is just really generic. It doesn't do much for me. But that Not Stid, the first record, is awesome. I got that one right after it came out back in like 98, 99 or so. Yeah, it's killer. Gotta stay hydrated, folks. Let me put my gore guts back. I don't have any gore guts on vinyl. I would maybe like to have Colored Sands on vinyl, but I would imagine all three of those albums that I like a lot by Gorguts would be really expensive on vinyl. Anyway, so the Death documentary, I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon for $3. You can rent it. It seems kind of rushed. It seems kind of short. I don't know. It just kind of seems like you're hurtling through the timeline of Death. There's certainly not a lack of credible interviews. Gene Hoglan, Steve DiGiorgio, all the players that were in Death. And yeah, it reminded. I had a lot of thoughts about it. I'm actually kind of thinking about doing a full-on review of it. I had actually been thinking even before I knew there was a Death documentary about spending some time like defending. No, not Moonshine. Defending the more technical albums, like the post-Leprosy albums. There's a lot of like new school people who are into old school death metal who act like after Leprosy, Death fucking sucks. And that's just entirely too clumsily dismissive. So this album kind of isn't very great, The Sound of Perseverance, but I mean, I hadn't listened to that one in a really long time. And I didn't know that the songs on this album were actually written for Control Denied. So I don't know, that might kind of speak to why this is kind of a weird and less than great album. But man, Symbolic, Human, Individual Thought Patterns, fucking amazing records. I wonder if it's your computer that's lagging. It might be my goddamn internet. We had problems with our internet last week. Repair guy came out and said it was fine. I haven't really had a chance to see if there's been any change, really. I'm getting, like, loading kind of shit here on my video. So that might be... Yeah, it sounds like a lot of you guys are having buffering issues. Son of a bitch. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know if there's anything that I could do other than take this whole thing upstairs, but this is my metal room. Yeah, that might mean live streaming down here is not gonna happen. Porno quality. Yeah, let's see, I also picked this up. Vital Remains, Horrors of Hell. This is a 7-inch and 2 demos reissued and remastered on CD. I'm just kind of a all-right Vital Remains fan. I'll pick their stuff up if it's used. There's a couple I still need to get, like Forever Underground and the one with the wolves on it. They're pretty good. I don't really listen to them all that often. In 2003, their Dechristianized album was my album of the year. And I saw them live with Tim Young on drums and Glenn Benton on vocals as he is on the album. And it was one of the best death metal live shows I've ever seen. They just fucking wiped the floor with everybody in that room. It was fucking fantastic. maybe you've answered this in a video, but how did you find out about black metal? So I worked at a grocery store when I was 16 years old, and there was this kid who would always wear these shirts about, I don't know. He would wear metal shirts, and I didn't know what they were. And at the time, I was listening to stuff like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, just kind of rock stuff like that. But I liked it and stuff, and it was kind of satisfying, but it didn't really get to a visceral level. And I remember always like turning the music up as loud as I possibly could in my headphones just to get some kind of, I don't know, aggression out of it or something. And so I wound up hanging out with this dude that I worked with, and he put on Fear Factory or something like that. One of the things that he listened to early on. And just, that was the most aggressive thing I had ever heard. And it blew my mind, and I was a metalhead from then on, I swear. Okay, thanks for sticking with me, guys, even though the buffering sucks. I know this is probably going to be a total fucking nightmare to watch anyways, so appreciate you sticking with me. I know a Brain Smasher live stream is a special occurrence, I hope. So yeah, like, he was into death metal and some kind of black metal at the time. So like, I got into death metal and black metal kind of relatively at the same time. So, you know, I went from Carcass, At the Gates, Sepultura, Fear Factory, straight into Emperor, Abigor, Naglfar, Cythereal, shit like that within months. So, you know, I didn't really have that like upbringing of Iron Maiden, Metallica, King Diamond, Misfits, or anything like that. I've never liked punk whatsoever. Yeah, so I kind of feel like my metal upbringing was, I was just thrown into the depths immediately. There wasn't a growing phase like most people. Yeah, good question. If you want to know more about that, let me know, I guess. So that's Vital Remains. All right, so I picked up this other one. So I have a new rule when I go into a record store. I want to come out of there with one thing that I know nothing about. And it's been really exciting, and it's paid off really well once. And I want to talk about this in another video or something. This one, though, I'm still kind of on the fence of. I listened to about one track of it, and I don't know. We'll see. It's called Reaction Ecstasy Trance. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but based on the cover art, really obscure and weird. And it's apparently self-released and recorded in 1993. Czechoslovakian. It's on a, I don't know, self-released label or something. I don't know. Just everything about this just looked good. Man, I have a super nice new phone, and the video looks awesome on it. So this sucks that my internet speed is making this look like shit. It's probably because there's a fucking brick wall right there between my phone and laptop and my router. It's probably what's going on. But so this is really weird. It's like stonery doom kind of stuff, but like more funeral kind of doomish. I don't know. I listened to a little bit of the first track, and yeah, there you go. YouTube recommended brought me here while listening to Down. Well, thanks for joining me. I know Down is a lot of people's favorite kind of thing. I've never really gotten into them. Maybe the mood will strike me just right. Also, Crowbar. I've never really gotten into Crowbar. I'm not saying I don't like them. I've just never really gotten around to listening to them. That New Orleans scene, I kind of don't really listen to very much. Acid Bath is pretty good, but, you know, I haven't listened to them in probably 10 years or so. So I also picked up Dimmu Borgir. Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia. You know, this was $3, and that's about the most I would be willing to pay for it. There's a couple reasons I got this. Simon Hesnays is on it, and I love Simon Hesnays. Even hearing him sing on a cheesy commercial black metal record is all right, you know. It's fucking cheesy in so many different ways too. I can't believe they didn't get fucking crucified for just having the most boring band logo ever. They've had good logos, and they're just going with this stupid font. Talk about a shitty album cover. I don't know. There's a lot of cheesy things about this, but Nick Barker's drumming, Simon Hesnays' vocals, pretty cool. Let's see. A great album. Do I like new wave of British heavy metal? I don't know. I hear some of it, and I think, yeah, pretty good. Diamond Head is pretty good. What is it? Ostrogoth? Vortex is a fucking god. Yes, he is. Omen, I know they're American, but I kind of consider them kind of like a new wave, but more traditional kind of thing. It's not really my kind of thing, but when I hear it, I don't mind it. There's a band called Vardis that's really good that I like. It's just not a genre that I really even bother with very often because, honestly, just to give you some comparison, I respect the hell out of Iron Maiden, but I never listen to Iron Maiden. Maybe once every 10 years or so. It just seems like whenever I do, I just wind up wanting to shut it off and listen to Halloween, you know? And like, I don't want to spend any time disliking or disrespecting Iron Maiden. It's just not something that I put on very often. I don't know what it is. Ever listen to Typhus? You're right. Once Vortex was out, they went downhill. Typhus, if you're talking about the band from Indiana, I saw them live once, and their album is kind of boring. Yeah, in fact, I know the guy that started that band. They're okay. There's a previous Typhus band called Fog, which is fucking awesome. Check out Fog. Has anyone heard Diabolus Interium by Dark Funeral? Is it good? Has a great cover. I'm not a Dark Funeral fan, but I remember that album being kind of fun. The drumming on it is super, super speedy, blasty. I honestly don't know why people like Dark Funeral so much. Draconis Infernum. If that's a band, no, but hold on. This band is called Draconis. And Chandler, this is right up your fucking alley, man. This is called Overlords of the Graying Dawn. And this is one of the best black metal bands to ever come out of California. And I don't remember paying $22 for this, but I hope I didn't pay $22 for this. You probably can't even fucking see that price tag. Quality on this is wretched. So yeah, what's Draconis Infernum like? Yeah, Fog is great. It's a lot more symphonic, kind of like Emperor. Next, I'd like to talk about this release. This is a super interesting release from a band that is usually pretty interesting, but a hard pill to swallow. They're called Choltjar. It's spelled TJOLGTJAR. And this is the final album, Swan Song. It's called Vrugun. Vrugun. I've done some session drum work for this band and been a fan off and on throughout the years. And the concept behind this double album is amazing. So Choltjar has had probably maybe around 28 to 30 albums, singles, full-length splits, and stuff like that. But I don't know. It'd be hard to really come up with a good number. But so the thing is, on here, every single song on here is an original song But each song is written and recorded and mixed and mastered in the style of a previous album. And so it's just insane. It kind of works like a best of, but it's all new material. It's a really interesting listen, and I listened to maybe 3 or 4 songs on it, and it really does a great job of like highlighting the fact that Schultjar's style-wise has run the gamut. The dude can do so many different things throughout the years, and I think he's been just kind of like laughed at and not respected because the artwork is kind of weird. I don't know. It's just kind of, it really is underground black metal that a lot of people aren't ever going to like. Have I ever heard Combat Wounded Veteran? Yes, I really like, I know a girl who develops crime scene photos. I think I have a copy of it. Very raw and intense noise, grind, power lines. Yeah, good stuff. I don't listen to it very often or that kind of style very often, but those guys are, yeah, really good. Also picked up 17 people watching. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you're having buffering issues, we've determined that it's my internet. Sorry. Really appreciate you sticking with me. I'll probably delete this after it's down, so I don't know. So this is Voices from London. And this is a side project or something related to Akercock from England. Now, I don't know what this is. This might be a single or something, or like an EP. Because I thought the album, the full length that they did, had more songs on it. I don't know. I haven't listened to this yet, but it was literally $3, and I thought, why not? Yeah, I really liked Akercock. I didn't really keep up with them as well as I wish I would have. The Goat of Mendes is fucking awesome. So, Necro Blossom, you're saying this is an awesome album? Cool. I have it now. Is this their second full length or something? I think I'm confused. Is a Wolverine throne flag? Wolves in the throne room. I'm guessing your autocorrect might have kicked in there. Yeah, Wolves in the Throne Room. Okay, next we're going to talk about... Hey, Riddy, how you doing, man? Another Iowa Cityan in the house. So we're doing a live stream. Recent pickups is just like what I'm going with, but if you have any questions for me, throw them at me and I'll try and answer them. If you want me to show you anything in the catalog, let me know. So this is Fluidity. This is a compilation of 7 inches, I think, that came out on Aesthetic Death. There's no year on it. I'm going to guess maybe a couple of years ago. And I don't know why they fucking went to the fucking trouble of releasing like 4 7 inches and then releasing a CD, putting them all together. Anyways, Fluidity is a really weird band going back to like 93. They've kind of always run alongside bands like Vedboenzend and Dodhemsgard. In fact, members of this band have played on 666 International and whatnot. So they're kind of incestuous with other projects as well. But Fluidity's latest stuff has gotten pretty weird. And this is a really interesting listen. I would have thought that this would be, like, I was totally unfamiliar with this material. I would have thought this would have been a lot more well-produced or something, a lot more sort of keyboards or, like, technological instrumentation going on or computer noises and stuff like that. But it's not. It's very stripped down, raw. There's every once in a while, there's a few little interludes of kind of weird, odd kind of stuff. But it wasn't until track 7 on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the song is It's When You're Cold. And this song pretty much floored me. So check out It's When You're Cold from Florida. It's a super interesting release and song. Most of their shit is only accessible on cassette, but you should check out one man project called Sivijvyar. I've heard that. I have a couple downloads, I think, from Bandcamp. It's the Russian dude that makes Panopticonish Drudkish. You got to make Drudk even harder to pronounce. One of my favorites. Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't listen to it very often. If he had CDs out, I think I would probably want to get it. Where do you purchase your music from? Local shops or the internet? If so, what sites do you use? I use all the sites. And yeah, I do actually kind of, even though I live in Iowa, I do manage to visit shops pretty regularly. I went to Madison, Wisconsin last weekend, and that was great. Chicago every once in a while, Minneapolis. We have a record store here in town that is kind of starting to carry some metal, but mostly just vinyl. There's some thrift stores in town every once in a while. I'll pick up some stuff. So I do pretty regularly get stuff from physical shops. Sites, though, I have done a video on this, so if you want to look back, it's in there somewhere. But the metaldetector.com is a huge resource. You can search for a release, and that will link you to any distro, so you can get the cheapest copy of whatever you're after. And then it breaks it down by format, so you can get it on CD, LP, shirt, sticker, patch, tape, whatever. Yeah. I saw a comment about Hypocrisy. I actually picked up a Hypocrisy album 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's called Virus, and it's been kicking my ass, actually. I also have, is it End of Disclosure? A recent album, if not maybe their most recent album. And it's pretty good. I really am kind of sick of Abyss Studios' production. It sounds like shit, but Virus is a pretty cool album. Honestly, there's parts on Virus that sound like Cythereal's Nord, if I'm being bold. Hypocrisy, I know you don't like. Okay, yeah. Discogs, like I was talking about. Discogs, I buy a shitload of stuff from. Most disappointing album by your favorite band? Maybe Sons of Northern Darkness by Immortal. Where did I get my Paysage back patch? Laura Brooks. I ordered it from Prophecy Productions in Germany. Yeah. When I was hunting for a back patch, I couldn't think of what I would want. And I was actually just ordering a Paysage de Verre little logo patch. And I got to looking through the rest of their patches, and there it was in all of its glory. I don't have my Patch Fest close, so I can't show you what they're talking about. Yeah, got it from Prophecy Productions. Least favorite metal genre? I don't know. I guess I would say if I don't like it, I wouldn't really call it metal. I don't know. More like, what do you call that? Stuff like System of a Down and shit like that. The new kid metal kind of shit, I don't care for it whatsoever. Slipknot, shit like that. It's garbage, but it's not really metal, so I don't really think about it. It's not a threat to the real deal. His songs aren't easy to find, but there's an excellent one-man dark ambient drone project called Orbis. Darkness Shades. I remember Darkness Shade. They put out a tape version of an early Satan's Almighty Penis release and did a really terrible job of it. Sinister, I have Aggressive Measures for some reason. That's the only Sinister I have. I actually kind of like it. It's been a long time since I played it, but yeah, that's the only Sinister I have. I don't love Sinister, but if I saw Across the Sticks or that other EP, Bastard Saints or something like that, I would pick it up for sure if it was used. In case you don't know, I'm like all about used CDs. Since I have such a fucking hoarding habit of albums, I try and stay away from the vinyl. Vinyl to me is just something I have as a collector's piece to kind of enshrine an album that I appreciate and cherish. And CDs, yeah, like I know that if I'm patient enough, and I'm usually very patient, I can get most albums on CD for cheap eventually. So I also got in the used bin the latest from My Dying Bride. This is called Feel the Misery. So I had heard them talking about this album on a new podcast I've been listening to, and I'm going to do a video about this podcast because it's fucking awesome, but it's called Radical Research. You got to check it out. So I don't know. When it comes to My Dying Bride, I'm not familiar at all with their material posts like Gods of the Sun, really. So I just kind of decided to grab this and hope for the best. And it's really, really great. I'm actually really surprised how good it is. So it's kind of making me think I should probably go back and listen to Map of All Our Failures, I think is the one before that. And going back and back and back. I've also noticed that the reviews on My Dying Bride's albums going back, there's some in there, like, is it A Line of Kings or something like that? They've got some really, really well reviewed. In fact, maybe their best reviewed albums are within the last 10 years or so, I would say. So I was really surprised to see that. I guess I need to keep on looking into My Dying Bride's discography because their earlier stuff is some of my absolute favorite metal there is. I think this. Do I like Christian black metal? Well, I don't have a real problem with it, really. You know, it's kind of funny. I guess you might catch me in a catch-22 or whatever, because I try not to listen to any sketchy kind of music or buy any of that kind of stuff or promote it or support it or whatnot. But I'm, you know, when it comes to Christian black metal, I'm prone to say it's not the message, it's the music. But when it comes to music that I disagree with in a more egregious, I guess, context, then it is about the message that I disagree with. So, I don't care if there's a Christian black metal band that makes great music. I really don't give a fuck. I've got Horde's Helig Uswart, and I've been a fan of that album for many, many, many years. Ever the band you never seen, what band you want to see? I don't know what you're trying to ask me. Was there ever a band you've never seen that you want to see? Maybe that's what you're asking. There was a tour that I missed that came through that my friends went to. It was Morbid Angel, Dissection, and At the Gates. And boy, not just that lineup, but that specific time period would have been absolutely magical. Nevermore. No, I don't really listen to Nevermore. I don't really hate them. I just never really got around to listening to them. I've heard people say that their first album is maybe their best. I do like Sanctuary, so like Warrell Dane's, rest in peace. Warrell Dane's vocals don't really bother me. Sanctuary is pretty killer. I want to say the what's the Nevermore album? Something about Black Into the Black. Man, I'm really pissed off about the quality of this video being kind of shitty. I wish my internet wasn't total garbage. It's not that it's total garbage, just that down here my connectivity is just piss poor. Huh. I'm surprised there's more than... There's 3 bands from the United States called Nevermore. I guess it's self-titled. Yeah, self-titled is the one I'm thinking of. Never rephrases. Is there a band you never see? What band would you want to see? I don't know. I still don't understand your question, man. I think I answered it. Maybe. You saw Dissection touring for the Somberlane? Was it here in America, or I don't know where you're from, Fraser. Thanks for all the questions, by the way. But yeah, did you see them on the Somberlane tour? That would be fucking amazing. Dead Heart and a Dead World is great. That must be a Nevermore album. What was the first album? Hey, Brady, how you doing? The first album that actually scared you when first hearing it. Mine was the first Deicide album, though I was going to hell for thought I was going to hell for listening to it. Scared me. I don't know. I'm not like the kind of guy where a horror movie scares me. Not much actually fucking scares me. Not to sound like a fucking tough guy or anything. I'm just not like on edge. I'm pretty laid back. So, I guess I would say more like along those lines impressed me. The first time I heard Stryborg, I was drinking absinthe, and I just decided to look for just the weirdest, most obscure, kind of nasty sort of thing. Decided to listen to, let's see, I'll get the albums. I listened to both of these Stryborg albums when I was kind of tanked on absinthe, and I think it was this one that really blew my fucking mind. He had some really great ideas. It's actually kind of too bad that he put out way too much material. Hey, we have the cat. Houston. I didn't know that Dissection toured for the Somberlane in the United States. Is there a way to keep your vinyls standing? I have a problem with them sliding around when I pull records out and knocking them over. Huh. Keep your vinyls standing. Do you mean like when you pull it out and you're playing the record and you want to just like set it there? I guess if that's what you mean. So much for the cat. I have this. I found this at a thrift store and I really, really, really like it. So, I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? There's, I don't know. There's a lot of different kinds of this kind of thing out there, and I think people use them like for picture frames or like decorative plates or whatever. You could probably get them at TJ Maxx and shit like that. So, but yeah, I really like that. That's all there is to it. Probably paid $2 for it at a thrift store. We got Odal, Der Dunkelheit Reiter. Anybody got any more questions? Sorry about the buffering. This fucking sucks. I've got a great phone, and the internet here is just fucking garbage because I am in the basement. I actually got, last week I acquired 30 CDs. So I put a bunch of them away, and we kind of went through one little pile of them. Let's see, what else did I get here? This is what I take my CDs in my car with. Let's see. Last week, I picked up the Shadow Throne from Satyricon, and I don't really like it. I mean, like, on the shelf. My shelf is too big and holds all my records, so they're all leaning on each other and stuff. Maybe I just need to not be so lazy. Stream is working better now, by the way. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, dude, I don't know what to tell you about records leaning on your shelf. Buy more records, I guess. That's probably the best solution there. Or maybe, like, put some thing in the shelf or whatever. Mystifier's Goetia. I think I have it as a bonus on the CD version of The World Is So Good That Who Made It Doesn't Live Here. Let me see. No. Okay. The Aleister Crowley EP is a bonus on here. So I don't have Goetia. And I don't know if I've ever heard it. This is a band that I really like, and this album fucking slays, but I never really got around to getting more of their stuff. I really should. Favorite thrash metal album? That's easy. Eternal Devastation. You all know it's the best one. This is the greatest thrash metal album ever recorded. You all know it. Sorry. I think those CD cases stretch up the CDs. That's my opinion. A lot of them do, but I really like this one. I've never had that problem. There's like a nice soft velour kind of fabric between all the CDs. And I have had this thing for probably 12 years, and it holds up super nice. It's by Fellows, brought to you by Fellows. Did you see Odium did a comeback live show? I know they did a comeback live show, and I can't believe they did. My buddy Austin from Panopticon saw that show. So fucking jealous. I'm kind of wondering now if they're going to do a comeback album. That would be interesting. But yeah, it's really cool to hear that band get some recognition. Early Necromantia. Man, you guys are really throwing some bands at me that I like don't really listen to, don't dislike, but just, I don't know, don't have anything from. So I don't have any Necromantia. Not really a big fan. I don't listen to it very often, so I don't know. Might be worth revisiting. It's one of those bands that you never see their stuff used at all. So, yeah, that's another reason I don't have much of their stuff. You need to finally listen to Destruction album. Fuck yes, you do. Eternal Devastation is it. It's where it's at. Cracked Brain. Yeah, that's a really great album. And Infernal Overkill, of course. Fucking awesome. I wish I could play music in the background and have this look good. I'm kind of bummed about how this turned out. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me and whatnot. More questions, throw them at me if you got them. Let's see, where'd that go? Yeah, so Satyricons, The Shadow Throne. Never really got around to listening to it or getting a copy of it, I mean, but it's not very good. I like their first album, and I really like Nemesis Divina, but so far, The Shadow Throne, not so hot. What else do we have here? They got a reissue of their demo from '93 on Hell's Headbangers. Not sure if you would like that stuff, but it's dark. Necromantia. All right, I'll check it out. Funeral Doom Metal? Fuck yes. As a matter of fact, I've got Evokin's Antithesis of Light right here. This is one of the best Funeral Doom albums. I talk about Funeral Doom every once in a while on my channel, so there's got to be a few mentions of stuff that I like in the Funeral Doom genre. There's this band called Until Death Overtakes Us. That shit is fucking amazing. This weekend I also picked up what is this? Fucking I can't even think of it right now. Bell Witch, the newest Bell Witch, that double CD. I had heard a lot of good things about it, so finally decided to pull the trigger. It's pretty good. It's, I don't know if I would call it funeral, really. It's just kind of like traditional Doom. Here's that Hypocrisy album I was talking about, that Virus. Really, really good. I've been kind of lately having a greater respect for big name bands and not so much just kicking them out of my cipher, if you will. What band do you think should call it quits, and why do you think they're overrated or think I suck? What band should call it quits? I don't know. Slayer? Didn't they just call it quits? What if Chuck decided to make an experimental black metal album under the name Death Name? Well, I would say welcome back to the living, Chuck. Thanks for all the great albums. You know, Chuck was a fantastic musician who wrote amazing music regardless of a band. You know, he wrote the music and then formed the band. You know, the band had a lot to do with the technical capabilities, but I think Chuck had a vision regardless of who would be playing on it. And I think that's really interesting how he achieved getting all those albums done. I can't really think of another artist that's really comparable in the way that they work, the way that Chuck did. By the way, if you're just joining us, the Death documentary, Death to All, or Death by Metal, really, really good. You can get it on Amazon for $3, and it's good. Do I ever listen to stuff like DSBM when I'm feeling down? Yeah, kinda, I guess. I'm not really moody or anything, but I guess like on a rainy day, there's certain albums that really fit the mood better than others. I had somebody ask me to do like a favorite DSBM album video recently, and I might do that. I don't really like the genre, but I think there's a few bands that I do like that kind of maybe clumsily fall into that category, so that might be something I do in a while. I've got a lot of, I kind of have this desktop in my mind of like half-assed ideas for videos, and I just do them. The more I think about them, I just kind of toss them around and see what I think about them and kind of try and work on them, as it were. How about Demolition Hammer's Epidemic of Violence? True Thrasterpiece. Totally agreed. Awesome, awesome band. Forgotten Woods helped me through a lot of some shitty days. You know, Forgotten Woods is a band I've never really liked that much. I've always had Curse Upon Mankind. And just a few weeks ago, I picked up the triple CD compilation of all their stuff. And I've been kind of working my way through that. And I was pleased to find that their other albums were better than the Curse of Mankind. So kind of changing my opinion on them a little bit. Yeah, dude, check out that Death documentary. It's super good if you're a fan of Death at all. I think it's really important that we not let people rewrite the history of Death and just act like their first 3 records are all that mattered and everything else sucked. That's totally insane. Any favorite non-metal group, band, or artist? Yeah, I'll let you in on a little tidbit. This band is one of my favorite bands of all time. I have, I think, 15 of their LPs. And they are called XTC. Yeah, XTC. Definitely non-metal, definitely weird stuff. British band from anywhere from the actually late 70s to mid 90s. This is their second album. All their stuff is super good. Mummer. A couple of singles, and then we got Worm Phlegm. I didn't grab. Actually, these are out of order. This is a single. Yeah, XTC. Woods of Ypres. I never really known how to pronounce that correctly. Let me show you something. So this is the very first Woods of Ypres demo. Limited to 100 copies. It's a self-released CDR, Against the Seasons. It's on a black CDR. Number 10 of 100. Yeah. I really did like this band. I never really followed up and got more and more of their stuff. I really need to. But back in the day, he was sending this demo out to labels, and I was working with my buddy Ron doing our label, and we were talking about signing this band and putting their stuff out. I just never worked out, really. They were going to play a show in Indianapolis, Indiana, and they never showed up for it. It was going to be like Demon Sea, Fog, Elusive Travel, some other bands or whatever. And we were kind of looking forward to meeting the band, seeing them live, and just kind of talking about signing them to our label. And I don't know, it just never really came to be. But yeah, that's a rare gem there. XTC, prog rock from back in the day. Yeah, there's nothing to this. This is like printed off on an HP printer too. This is back when David Gold only played drums in the band. Can you believe that? Yeah. Back a little bit. Hey, what's up with your buddy Marty Worm YouTube videos? I don't know. Marty's pretty busy with a lot of things lately. I don't know. I can't speak for the man, but I talk to him every day, pretty often. Did you read zines in your youth? And if you did, which did you read? And did you ever contact any of the writers? Yeah, man, totally. Pre-internet, we were totally dependent on zines, like Pit Mag. I do have kind of an extensive collection of zines upstairs. Pit Mag, Metal Maniacs, yeah, a lot of kind of stuff like that. Zero Tolerance is a great magazine. Also, I wrote to them. I wrote to people in the back of the magazines, to Network and stuff like that. Ordered demos from bands here and there out of those magazines. Yeah, they were very essential back before the internet. I even wrote my own zine for a while, which I don't even have copies of, so it's not even really worth talking about. I wrote for a zine called Seventh Scroll out of Champaign, Illinois. Fog of One album. Have I heard of Lugabrum? Hold on, I'll show you something. There's all my Lugabrum CDs. I think I have 2 of their LPs and a patch and a shirt. Big fan of Lugabrum. We've got Albino de Congo, De Totem, I can't remember this one. Dewarahand. This is an old one, Gedacht and Geheugen. This is from 1997. Lugabrum Sudarium split. Found that in a used bin in Denver, Colorado. Live in Amsterdam. Face Lion, Face Onion. I don't think I... Yeah, I do. I do have... I don't listen to this one very often. I definitely need to. Here's, I think, Winterstones. Yeah. That's from 95. Brewing Trin. This is one of my favorites. And then we got, this one is so good, De Vet Kwekken. Then we got Heilige Dwezen. And then we got the Finsternus split. Love fucking Lugabrum. Definitely. They're super, super weird. They hate carrots and love beer. Check them out. It's getting to me closer to my bedtime, so probably only do this for maybe another 20 minutes or so. Having fun hanging out with you guys, though. It's been fun. 16 of you. Let's see here. Did I ever write Dead or Euronymous letters? Fuck no. They were dead by the time I got into metal, for sure. I don't think I have any, like, close memories like that. I got into metal in, like, 96, 97. So, you know, it was kind of late in the game in the 90s. Band from Texas, Houston, called Implication. I've never heard of Implication, but I think you might be talking about imprecation. You might be spelling that differently or something. Yeah. What about the Chasm? Have I ever heard of them? Fuck yes, the Chasm rule. What is it? Far Seeing the Paranormal Abysm. Fucking awesome record. I listen to that pretty regularly. I've seen them live twice. I see them at shows a lot. Awesome band. Samael, Worship Him or Ceremony of Opposites? Which do I prefer and own? Oh, I guess I don't have Worship Him. I'm going to go with Ceremony of Opposites. Whoa. I got into Ceremony of Opposites early on. It's a perfect album. Oh. Do I like Maudlin of the Well or Chaodot? Funny you should ask. I have both Bath and the other one, the red one, coming in the mail maybe this week, maybe next week or so. I'm a big fan. I never thought I'd be able to afford getting copies of those records. Leave Your Body Map, I think it's called. I've also seen Maudlin of the Well live. Awesome, awesome band. Dead Horse from Houston. It's been a long, long time. I probably heard that band back in 1998, and that's the last time. 1349. I like Liberation a lot. That's fucking awesome, but I don't know. They're a super overrated band. I don't know about old demos and EPs. I didn't know they had demos. I've got one thing. Are you talking about this EP? Because I remember this being kind of not very fast and kind of average. But yeah, I have that. But Liberation Man is fucking awesome. Nikola Rekovic, please elaborate on what? Seeing Maudlin of the Well live or what? Fraser, Hellstar. Yes, Hellstar is awesome. I have Nosferatu and something else. I think yeah, Nosferatu is in the wallet. Right there. JL America. I collect releases from JL America, actually. I have several CDs released by them, and they are not put together very well. A lot of typos. Yeah, they're kind of charming how shitty they are. Turbo USA. America Black. Thoughts on Opeth? Very overrated, but Blackwater Park is kind of good. I recently bought My Arms Your Hearse just to kind of see what the deal was. It's okay. I just don't really listen to stuff like that. Yeah, it was back in the day, or in 2015 in New York. Oh, it was way back in the day. It was at Milwaukee Metal Fest, like 2001 or 2 or something like that, I want to say. I could be wrong and thinking of some other band. Let me see. Were they even active around then? I went to several metal fests. No, yeah, it looks like they were active back then. I went to several metal fests back in the day, and there's so many bands that I would just see and not even know what they were called, and years later realized that I had seen this band live and didn't know what they were at the time or whatnot. Those Milwaukee Metal Fests were just absolutely just insane. Nosferatu is amazing. Do I own Demon Sea's first demo? Not on cassette or anything. I don't really have any rarities. I'll pull out my Demon Sea stuff. I have a couple Demon Sea vinyl. Here's Empire of the Fallen Angel re-recorded. There's the original version of it. I believe Demon Sea's first demo is reissued on this double CD. We got Faustian Dawn and Within the Sylvan Realms of Frost here. And they also have the original CD version of Faustian Dawn. Also have, check this out. Demon Seas Joined in Darkness, signed by Exithra. Super cool guy. I used to talk to him quite a bit. Seen them live 5 or 6 times, and they're great. Enthroned is the Night, and Within the Sylvan Realms of Frost on So It Is Done Productions. I also, I don't know if I said this, have some vinyl of theirs. I think I have Within the Sylvan Realms of Frost on Somber Records. You're not overloading my comments. You're helping my video be entertaining. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, so I saw Maudlin of the Well back 2001 or 2 Metal Fest. It was interesting. I just didn't really, I was 18 or 19 at the time, so that kind of stuff that's more proggy, more down to earth. I didn't really know what to think of it, but eventually I did get into Maudlin of the Well. And this is one of those bands I've always meant to get around to buying their stuff, and finally this week I should have it. Infernal Majesty, no. None Shall Defy is really great. Just never really got around to picking it up. I'm not a huge 80s fan, not a huge like thrash or traditional kind of fan. And if I do like that stuff, it kind of takes a lot for me to actually bother buying a copy of it. I don't know why. Did you hear Angrenost album last year? I've never heard of Angrenost. Let me see. Do you like hard rock in the 70s? Captain Beyond. Captain Beyond is really good, man. Angrenost. There are 3 bands called Angrenost. I'm going to guess the melodic black metal band from Portugal. Oh. Goat Lord. I don't have much, but I'll show you. This is actually all I have. This is their demos. Distorted Birth, the demos. So this is a double CD with God, it's not really broken down. Their demo 88 had 12 tracks on it, so that's what disc 1 is. And disc 2 is demo 87 and promo 91. So that's all I really have. I like them well enough, but this is kind of really all I need, I guess. You know, it's the kind of thing, if I saw it in a used bin, I'd grab it, but Demolic, Time Ghoul, Killer Deathman from built in the 90s. Of course, man, Demolic fucking rules. I really wanted to go see them play in Chicago with Blood Incantation, and I still haven't seen Blood Incantation live yet. I feel like I'm the last guy on Earth. Okay, wrong Angrenost. But yeah, Demolic is awesome. Fucking awesome. I've got a really cool Demolic release. By the way, Demolic has some shirts coming out with Nespith art on them. Fucking awesome. Since I never got around to picking up the copy of the original Nespith there, this release is fucking essential. 2 CD set from Spart Records, 20th Adversary of Emptiness. It's got all their stuff. It's got some unreleased stuff, and there is some unrecorded material or unreleased material on here from 2006, and it is fucking great. And it's the only Demolic material post Nespith, as far as I know, and it's surprisingly just as good as the stuff from Nespith is. So if you don't have this, man, and you're a Demolic fan, get it. Time Ghoul, yeah, they're great. I have that 2 CD set that Dark Descent put out. Portuguese, let me see here. There you go. All right. Ghost, Carlito, I know you're a big fan of the channel. I appreciate you subscribing, buddy. Ghost, I don't really listen to. I don't really hate him. I think my buddy Justin Stubbs, he kind of said it best a couple of videos ago. People expect Ghost to be a metal band, and they're not. So they accuse them of not being metal enough or something. And you know, that's fine. They don't. People try and like reach from outside of the genre of metal and grab anything that's nearby and label it metal so that they can get some kind of notoriety from the genre or whatnot. And I don't really like that kind of shit. But I don't know. Ghost is fine. It's not really my kind of thing. I listened to their new album and I kind of tried to like it, but I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. Yeah. Did you hear X Limiter? Perfect Demolic Worship? That sounds up my alley, man. All right, we got Angrenost. I'm going to check that out. And X Limiter. Thanks for throwing all your questions my way, guys. It's really helping me keep the video entertaining. I guess it's entertaining. I don't know. I'm not watching. Exclamateur. It weighed itself in silver from Canada. Yeah, I'll check this out. Thanks for the recommendation. Vomit from Chile. I don't think I've ever heard vomit from Chile, but I'm thinking about making a joke about vomiting from Chile, and I'm just too tired to pull it off. I don't really listen to a lot of South American kind of stuff. There's a few bands that I go to, like Anal Vomit are pretty good. Or, oh, what are they called? Bestial Holocaust fucking rules. Yeah, Ghost is overrated. Vomit, though. Death Ruin Records. Let's see, they got a Bandcamp. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I wish the audio would work on here. I'll have to take a look at my internet and see if it's... I don't know if I can fix it any better or whatnot. Somebody said that it's not as bad as it was earlier in the stream, so I don't know. We'll see. Looks like I've got some Bandcamp shit in my cart. Only one person has bought this Vomit demo so far. That sucks. Man, I was going to buy an album on Bandcamp the other day, and he wanted... It's just like this singer-songwriter acoustic kind of guy I've been listening to. His name is Benjamin Todd. He wanted $15 for the MP3s from his album. I just couldn't fucking believe it. I don't know. That pissed me off, and I just like closed out of it. Maybe he wants like $17 for the CD or something. But can you believe that? $15 for MP3s? It's ridiculous. Vomitory? Nah. They're kind of cheesy. I don't really like them. Ordem Satanica is the other best Porto band last year. Portuguese. So Zeusco, are you mostly into Portuguese bands? Is there like a scene in Portugal that I don't really know about? There's a band. What are they called? I have this CD from a band. I think they're from Portugal, and they sound kind of like Ved Buens, and I think they're called Monte Penumbra. I think this band is from Portugal. And this came out in 2013. A friend of mine gave me this a year or two ago, and it's really cool. I think that might be in like a Portuguese kind of thing. Not sure if you answered this earlier, but do you have any Massamord? No, I don't have any Massamord. I need to check them out. Evil Feast. Man, I need to get that fucking Evil Feast. I'm kind of new to the Evil Feast. I like the Evil Feast band name. I was like, fuck no, I'm not listening to that for the longest time. So that's my own fault. On to Blasphemy. Any interactions with them? Any rarities? Actually, funny you should ask. I'm not the biggest Blasphemy fan, but yeah, I do kind of have a rarity or two. So I've got Gods of War on CD, JL America and Osmos. I found this used in a store for like $6. And I've got the original Wild Rags, Fallen Angel of Doom cassette. Hope that looks all right. It's kind of beat up because it floated around in my car off and on for maybe a couple of years, but yeah. And then I was never supposed to tell anybody or whatnot, but one of the dudes in this band wanted to trade bootleg DVDs of stuff, and he wound up sending me some Immortal footage, and it was like outtakes from the making of the Under a Funeral Moon, no, that's Dark Throne, Diabolical Full Moon Mysticism video. And so there's a bunch of outtakes and like weird rarities and stuff, and some like old live stuff from Immortal from like back in 93, 94, from when Blasphemy toured with Immortal on the Fuck Christ tour. I have the poster right up there. And so, yeah, I have a DVD from somebody in Blasphemy with a bunch of weird Immortal outtakes and rarities and live shows and just really weird stuff. It's nothing really amazing or whatever, but when he sent it to me, he was like, "Don't ever tell anybody you got this from me. I'll get in trouble." So there's the big reveal. I don't think anybody's gonna care. Zusco, you just listened to the best stuff. Right on, man. Same here. Witch Trap. Witch Trap, I have 2 of their albums, and I think they're pretty overrated and not very great. Yeah, I don't really care for that kind of stuff. What do I think of Mystifier? One of my favorite bands. We talked about Mystifier a little bit earlier. This is all I have. The World Is So Good That Who Made It Doesn't Live Here, and it's got a bonus on it. The Aleister Crowley EP. This is fucking awesome. Mystifier rules. I need to get more of their shit. Yeah. Love those guys. Well, I'm getting stupid, and it's kind of my bedtime. I know it's kind of early yet for a lot of you guys, but I got to get up at 5:20 in the morning tomorrow to get to work. So, yeah. Demonaz solo album is really, really good. Embryonic Death is that pre? No, that's Corpse Molestation. Embryonic Death, I'm not sure who that is. The cat needs to be fed. The whole house is blowing up. It's on fire. So I got to get out of here and get to bed. It's been nice chat with all you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure if I'll leave this up or not, but I appreciate all the recommendations from a lot of you guys. Zusco, you're the best. Carlito, hang in there. Yeah, great talking, man. I know this is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Thanks for joining me again, and we'll see you next time. Now I gotta unplug this thing and all that.